Good morning, YouTube. Thank you for joining me. I will try to make this simple and quick. I do realize that I am new, and because you don't know of me, it may be a little bit difficult to get you to hear me out. I'm going to do several recordings throughout the day with the hopes of being able to get my point across. I figured that if I do one straight video, you'll lose interest and you won't continue to listen. So, without further ado, I just want to go in and do a small disclaimer advising that any videos or pictures that you see in here in any of my videos are not mine. They're simply borrowed from other YouTubers. I'm so not a YouTuber. I'm just coming into this, just have my points of view and want them to be out there, and I don't feel that I'm getting them out there by posting on other channels. So I want to give a huge shout out to those who have been following and investigating the Kaneeka Jenkins case. I know that it is tiring. I know that it has been a lot of hard work and a huge investment. But I want to compliment you and say that you all are doing an excellent job, and just keep up what you're doing. I do want to ask, for those of you that are watching my video and listening, please, guys, I like to be as positive as possible, and just ask that you would do the same for me. Now, I will go on into getting to my point. Being a previous law student and being raised in a household, a previous military household with parents who are both lawyers and police officers, I do recall being told that generally the first story is generally the closest to the truth. Now, with that being said, I just want to go all the way back to the beginning of the story, okay? And we'll work our way up throughout the other videos. This video is dedicated to the beginning of the Kaneeka Jenkins story. The beginning of the Kaneeka Jenkins story, according to her mom in a 911 phone call, Kaneeka told her that she was going bowling. She left home, and that was it. According to the best friend, Monifa Shelton, they all had fun. They were getting ready to go home, and Kaneeka had gone out, or they took Kaneeka outside, realized she didn't have her keys in her phone. Strange, right? She doesn't have her keys or her phone. She didn't have her keys or her phone, and so they leave her outside, knowing that she's drunk. They leave her outside by herself, and they go back inside to get the keys. Well, first of all, why would it take two people to go back and get a set of keys? One person could have stayed with Kaneeka while the other person went to get the keys, if the story was really true. But then I found some things that, and unfortunately, I can't go back because I don't want to take you all over my phone. I'm doing this from my phone. There are videos that support the Irene story, the Monifa story. There are videos of when the so-called Kaneeka, this is where we're going into the videos, right? There are videos supporting that when the so-called Kaneeka went into the kitchen, we saw that several people had gone in behind her. And Monifa at one point even appears in the camera after the Tolliver guy goes on the elevator, which is an indication to me that Monifa stayed behind with Kaneeka's dead body. I'm sure she was deceased. And Tolliver, after realizing they had lost the keys or didn't bring the keys down, Tolliver runs back up, he gets the keys. Monifa comes back to the camera, and we're talking in the elevator video. Monifa comes back into the camera. She appears briefly in the camera. And I think that was just like, hey, I don't want to be down here with this body by myself, And then she disappears. A short time later, Tolliver shows up, and they're never seen in the camera again. Why? Because they're near the back dock. If you remember the 911 video, he said when they asked him what freezer he was in, he said, I'm in the freezer near the back dock. Okay. There's also a video out there about the parking lot. You can see cars speeding out. You can see cars coming and going. So again, I think that part of the story, Monifa's story, was true. I do believe that there were some things that were added and deleted, or not deleted, but what is the word I'm looking for? Added and avoided. So anyway, again, that's the closest that I can find to the truth. If you continue on, let's go back and talk a little bit about the when this story initially broke. When this story broke, several things happened. Irene and Monifa were really nervous. They were really worried about what was going to be said, what was going to be done. And a couple of fights, quite a few fights broke out on Instagram, on Facebook, on what are the other places. One thing that I want to show you, I will show you this. It's a fight between, and it's not clear to me who is talking. The only thing that really catches my attention here is that this is Irene talking. Okay, and forgive me the noise, okay, but this is Irene talking. I don't know who this person is, but they're talking back and forth with each other. Um, but somebody's asking her clearly, why didn't you come back with her? And I think that might have been, let me just start over. Walked out the door and didn't come back with her. So Irene Roberts is telling somebody, you walked her out the door and you didn't come back with her. Okay, this is Irene, and I suspect that she's talking to, who knows who she's talking to, because later on in the case, you see her and Monifa together all the time. So you walked out of the door, you didn't come back with it. And then it says, nah, you mad because you can't lie. You mad because you can't lie, right? You know what? I'm not gonna curse, but you know what's your location. You better hope and pray the police get to you before I do. And again, we're not sure. It's not clear who she's talking to. I don't think that she's talking to Monifa here because, like I said, she and Monifa are hanging really tight. So then here it is, Nicole missing. Okay, now here's something very interesting to me. This Marie. This is them saying that her best friend put her in the freezer. Her best friend put her in the freezer. Okay. After this guy killed her. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because initially, a few weeks ago, we were hearing all about this Tolliver, what was his name? Tolliver guy, who is supposedly Monifa's boyfriend. Well, I have a question about that. Um, According to something that I've seen, um, Monifa is in one gang, and this Tolliver guy is in a different gang, according to the videos. Um, is it, my question for you would be, I don't know much about gangs, but is it probable that one gang member would be dating somebody from another gang? It just seems like a conflict of interest. And another thing, if you go to this Tolliver's page, Tolliver, uh, he's too open. He's too open to be a killer. He brags a lot. He shows off. He's smoking marijuana in the camera. He's just doing all kinds of ridiculousness. They go into the restaurants without clothes on, and they talk about how they're about to be kicked out. It's almost as if they're just trying to cause a ruckus. They're trying to be problematic. Okay, so that would be tolerant. But if you look here at this page, there's a name here, Bernard Radley. And this Bernard Radley, again, I'm talking, I have not done research on this guy. I've looked him up on Facebook, and I'll do that really quick here. This Bernard Radley person calls my attention because I think that I have seen him. I think I've seen him. And if you see here, his account is locked. He is from Chicago, Illinois. He's taken down his profile pic, and we can't look at his friends. We can't see his pictures. We can't see anything. He's locked everything down. But this picture, I've seen this picture before. And this is him. He looks like the oldest person that could have been there at that party. And he does look like someone who is capable of pulling this off. He really does. Considering that he's just so low-key. Really, really calls my attention. Anyway, I'm going to go back to some of the fights that we've seen. Some of the fights that we've seen between them. So that's one, right? Okay, well, let's see if I can be quick about this. Just excuse me because I am on my tablet and oh, I hate when this happens. So I want to get out of here. Oh, okay. So now I'm finished there. I'm going to go back to my screenshots because I did a lot of followed the fights on my screenshots. And I will begin, I'm going to begin here at I think it's here. Oh, I'm sorry, that's somebody else. Oh God. Okay. um, I got you. Who is this? Sticky Bun, and I don't know who. It's another conversation. I got you. You and your friend come through. You trying to make some money? What's up? I need to set this trick up. I want to mess up. I want to do something. She played me. I'm in Marietta. I'm gonna take it. There's that Marietta. I'm in Marietta. We need to find out where that Marietta place is. Okay. Well, okay. Now, here's something. Here's something. Remember the emails that they had sent out talking about the hotel licks? Well, that would be the lick that they're referring to. Here's something else. Again, I'm not really sure. It says Monifa Shelton. What you got popping for the night? You and your friends going to the hotel. I got for my birthday. Okay, so this was not Irene's birthday. This was. This is a setup. This is a setup, and I'll tell you why. Because this is Monifa Shelton supposedly talking, right? And it says here that Monifa is asking, going to the hotel. Somebody asked her what she asked for the weekend, and that Monifa responded, "I'm going to the hotel I got for my birthday." But in the picture in the first video, someone said happy birthday to Irene, not Monifa, and she said thank you. So this is a setup. This for me is not real. Brianna, here's Brianna. So for 24 hours, no one went in the freezer. To be in the freezer, you had to go to the hotel. You had to go to the hotel kitchen. No one saw them with a body. This is all weird and spooky. And then Irene Roberts, look what she does. She sends this spooky face like, ooh. Okay. Um, this for me is not really important, but hold up the truth so I find from people in Chicago. Da da da, brother did some messed up stuff, and I'm gonna touch on that shortly. Then it says, Irene is talking to Monifa, telling her that she didn't put her, or talking to someone, telling her that she didn't put her in the freezer, but that Bernard Bradley put her in the freezer. There's that Bernard Bradley name again. than Wee Mullet. This girl is very interesting. This girl has not been mentioned very much, but she went to the party and apparently left. Okay, she left because she had been told what was going to happen and she didn't want to be a part of it. And the very interesting thing is that she said that she called the police and that she called the police on three-way and she also called Kaneeka's mother on three-way. Well, Kaneeka's mother has yet to mention that phone call. However, I believe this to be true and I'll tell you why. Because remember in the 911 call, go back to the 911 call, you'll hear the police tell her clearly, wait 24 hours. And she gives in, says okay, and it's fine. But then a short time later, you see the friends running around the hotel looking for Kaneeka. And who shows up short time later? The police. I'll say the police had been on scene. Why were they on scene if they had not been called? And who else would have called them? You have to ask. And guys, this is why I say that, those stories from the beginning are generally the closest to the truth. This is as close to the truth as we're going to get. Okay. If you look here, this is just speculation talking about how the hotel could have been, reviewing surveillance. And here's here's the Tolliver guy. I can't remember his name because for me, Tolliver has become of less interest. Who is more interesting to me at this point is the Bernard Bradley guy. Okay. And like I said, he's being very, very, very low key. The one last thing that I'm going to share with you before I go is this. And I'm going to play this video for you. And then I'm going to say, well, no, I won't play it for you this one because my time has landed. But thank you so very much for joining me, YouTube. It's certainly a pleasure. I will be coming back with more videos, and mine's is reason and logic. It's not an investigation into what really happened. It's nothing more than reason and logic. So, again, thank you for joining me, though you don't know me, and I hope